The following podcast contains coarse language and adult themes.
This week on the show, it's too bad she won't live, but then again, who does? Final cut or bust, baby. It's Ridley Scott's Blade Runner. I'm Riggs.
And I'm here.
How ominous. And this is the Film Addicts podcast. Hey friends, and welcome back to the Film Addicts podcast. I'm just here with my favourite synthetic human who doesn't know they're synthetic and is just a fucking wonderful, joyful person who also has an owl that's not illegal, and a snake, and all other Blade Runner jokes I can possibly think of. How you doing, Addy? What's going on?
Oh, hi. I'm okay.
Hey.
I'm doing okay. I'm just really excited to talk about this, honestly.
Yeah. It's such a lovely warm bath to get back into. And I got into this movie quite late, honestly. I had to study it for school. Like, we did it as a one of the frames from it. Oh, no, sorry. It wasn't one of the frames from it. It was the actual, like, text. So, do androids dream of electric sheep? And then the film comparison. And I saw it for like year 12 and I had to write an essay on it. And I got an A for that essay because I was like, this fucking film is the shit and everything else is shit. You know what I'm saying? And they were like, you're absolutely right, Riggs. That's how to describe this picture. So, yeah, it was really good. How did you come to it?
Oh, man. I just, I came to it like extremely fucking late, like 2022, 2023, around that.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, just coming off of like major lockdown and everything, and just like I was like that, like I was just trying to watch older films.
Yep,
older.
No, I mean this is a classic. It came out in 1982. That's as old as me.
But yeah, I honestly I could not understand it for the first two times that I watched it. But yeah, like reading about it a little and just like watching videos on it and like the comparisons from the book to the film. I don't remember exactly right. I know that it's not like a 1-to-1 adaptation, right? No, not at all. I saw this comparison made and I feel like it's true, which is the Blade Runner, at least Blade Runner Final Cut, is like the modern version of Metropolis. Like it forever changed how people thought what you could do with cinema. Yeah,
it's a pretty... Well, I was actually talking about this earlier. Like genre fiction back then was kind of legitimate prestige cinema. Things like Alien and Close Encounters and this, people were seeing themselves through these allegories, of who are we and what does it mean to be on planet Earth? And, if we have a soul and understanding what that is and can an android have a soul or, what are we just automatons and the class system and caste system and all that stuff. Like it was, and now it's just like these movies aren't made to say anything anymore. They're just made to fill IP quotas and make money. Whereas back then there was some legitimate work going on. So yeah, I think that's when you see this as a benchmark of what cinema can be, and particularly genre cinema. It totally makes sense that's the thesis. The thesis. There is a lot of really good breakdowns of this film, but it's also good to kind of let all that go and just let it be what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because what it is a really fucking good neo-noir. Grizzled, hard-drinking detective, femme fatale, a bunch of strange characters and character actors and, a conspiracy and, the bad guy's not necessarily the bad guy and all that stuff. It's just a perfect noir picture. I love it. Anyway, before we get into it any deeply, that's a word. I made it up just this now. This is episode 88. It's called Electric Podcasters Part 1. Next episode 89, will be Electric Podcasters Part 2, where we'll be talking about Blade Runner 2049. So these are sister episodes, everybody. So just letting you know that so you understand why there's a Part 1 in the title of the thing. But maybe you don't look at that shit. I don't know. Shall we talk a little bit about what we've been watching before we get into some fantastic nerd news, which we're going to rename the segment because of what we're talking about. Just for a second.
Yeah.
Just for a day.
Let's talk about what we've been watching.
Sex. Let's do it. I haven't been watching sex. I mean, sometimes you watch sex.
Yeah. I mean,
there's some sex in these pictures. Which is cool. You water.
Did you say water?
Water. Water. What are we
watching?
What have we been watching? You are the one. I know you went first last time, didn't you?
I go first almost every time. You go first.
Okay, all right. Two things. One was Zootopia 2. And I loved it. I could happily watch a Zootopia film every year and just a new case and a new thing for these two characters to deal with. I loved that. It never even occurred to me that there weren't any reptiles in the first one, which is great. And I was excited to see the new worlds. And again, it's a noir film. There's conspiracy and all these ins and outs and then a betrayal. And it's just, it's a fucking excellent animated picture. Really good story. I'm in a bit of a noir place at the moment because I also watched LA Confidential with Russell Crowe and Guy Pearce, Kevin Spacey, bunch of other ones, Kim Basinger. And that movie is fucking nuts because it plays itself like it should be a traditional noir, right? But it's a cartoon. Like everybody is on 11. It has more in common with Who Framed Roger Rabbit than it does Chinatown.
What?
Do you know what I mean? Like it's so over the top and all the performances are so big and it doesn't give a fuck. Like it doesn't care whether you jive with it or not. It is what it is, unequivocally. Such a great book and probably the best James Ellroy adaptation, definitely. And the other thing is I'm currently reading Grant Morrison's Final Crisis, which was a huge crossover event he did in the sort of early 2010s. A lot of people have a huge problem with it. They say that it's convoluted, and it's overwrought, and it's too cerebral and all that kind of stuff. You either get Grant Morrison or you don't. So I understand those people's argument, but again, it's just a noir story. A god gets killed. There's conspiracy around it. And, the Green Lantern Corps come down and get sort of accused of killing Orion. And why is the flashback and all this kind of stuff and, worlds colliding. And it's just a really good, well-told murder mystery. So if you can kind of dig that and just accept that all these multiverses are going to collide, it's done a lot better than they've ever tried to do it in the movies. More succinctly. It doesn't work in the movies as well, whereas in the comics, you're like, yeah, these can come from all these different worlds, not other movie franchises or whatever the fuck. That's what I've been up to. What have you been up to?
I want to ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw on Letterboxd that you watched In Time.
Yes.
Have you seen that before?
Yes.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it's fine. I really like Justin Timberlake's singing voice. I don't think he's a great actor. I think he was good in The Social Network.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't it's a good premise as well. I like the idea of it. It's really clever. It's just one of the We Hate movies for this month. So I like to watch them before I listen to the episodes.
Do you know who makes that movie incredibly awesome? Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, he's great in it. He is really good in it. But I mean, he was on path for an Oscar, that kid. He's fucking 50 years old. amazing actor, and he sells the shit out of it. You know, I didn't know that he wasn't American for years.
For me, the first thing I ever consumed of his work was Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, right. So the first thing I saw him in was 28 Days Later, and he was doing a British accent. But then I saw him in Batman shit, and I'm like, oh, he's American. But it was the other way around.
Well, he's Irish.
What did I say? I said British, didn't I? Oh, he is Irish. I can only do an Irish accent in the guise of a pirate named Seamus.
I love Seamus, man. This has been a while.
It has. He'll come back around. You never know. So sorry. What have you been watching?
I'm not going to take much of the time because I'm still like in between shows. But I finished The Newsroom. It was incredible.
Oh, that was me exclaiming.
It was incredible. It genuinely felt good to like watch a show about news where not only was the news like based on real things, like they were reporting on real things that were happening in the in that year, and this is weirdly the most hopeful show I've seen since like Ted Lasso.
No, I get that. Yeah, because it's kind of the ideal of what we would like broadcast news to be.
Like genuinely that, but also it's just at the end of the day, every single person in that cast, right? Or like every single person in that newsroom cared about news, cared about like getting people informed about what was happening. Dedication
to revealing things and letting people make their own decisions and not being biased, which is impossible to do in news broadcasts now because they're all owned by companies or individuals who have specific views and they have to tailor what they're doing to that. Yeah, that's why I don't watch the news because it's all fucking skewed. Yeah. But if you get Jeff Daniels,
oh my goodness,
it's all good in the hood, you know.
This is like the first thing I watched with Jeff Daniels, honestly. Like this in Martian, where he's in Martian for like a cameo, basically. The Newsroom is absolutely incredible and just amazingly written.
Yeah, it's Sorkin, man. He's a wordsmith of the highest order. You know, he was a playwright. It's right there, and he also is incredibly well educated. So it's none of it's, and he has a political leaning as well, of course, but it's not at the expense of character or theme or plot or anything.
I'm still watching The Pit. It's still on air. It's still incredible. There is a loud majority of people on the internet who cannot handle strong women characters. Somehow they feel like that's a personal threat, and I can't ever understand it because arguably my favorite character of the entire show is the most hated one in the fandom because she is the one who was not taking anybody's shit, you know, and she is rude to the people who have been rude to her, and she is incredibly complex. And I love that about her so much, but people just don't like. It's like when people worship Paul for being the actual Messiah for the Furman. It's like, really, like that, like you really missed all of that.
You know what it is? Yeah, okay. As far as incel logic goes, they're always going to be the loudest for starters. You know, the vocal minority that skew negative are always going to be louder than the quiet majority who skew positive because we don't feel the need to talk about shit we don't like. And we don't feel the need to defend ourselves against idiots whose opinion weighs less than fucking sunlight. And these groups of people, they don't understand story well enough to get these characters and to jive with these characters, female or otherwise. That's number one. Number two is the reason they have a problem with female characters is because it irks them, and irk in a very particular way of usage. They are sexually frustrated and they can't get that woman to do what they want her to do, which is shut up and take her fucking clothes off or whatever, or just, you know, shut up and be pretty or wear a push-up bra or whatever it is. They want the pornographic sort of poison that they've been taking in their entire lives has deformed their brains into thinking that women are objects. And that's happened all through time. It's just easier for that to happen now because we have access to not only that kind of stuff en masse, but a community of motherfuckers who feel the same way because they've never been fucked. They only own one book. And you know what I mean? Like, seriously, how much can you know about the world if you've only read one book, you know? And as a metaphor, I mean. And yeah, they group, they get together, and their ideas and their ideals copulate and make new forms of distortion of weird ways of thinking about everything. And women are always going to be at the top of that list because they'll never get them. And they've never even been kissed on the lips or had anyone even think about their genitals because they're fuckless. That's who you're talking about.
The character that I'm talking about, she is gay, and like very happily so. But also the things that she is doing, if another male cast member would have, or if another male character in that show would be doing those things, these arguments would not be made because like her being this way is exposing the hierarchy and just the blatant racism that goes around when certain people are in power. Because she, in the first season, she reports a resident for stealing drugs or like stealing medicine from his patients, right? And that's her first day. And when she like, and like there's no lead up to it. It's a scene that happens, and then like she just never lets it go because she thinks that it's weird, right? And then the actual doctor is like a big fucking asshole to her, to a point where like, and this is her first day, right? And to a point where he's like actively trying to get her fired on her first day. And then like in season 2, it's been 10 months and he comes back, and on his first day, he's trying to make amends with everybody, right? But not only has he not apologized to her, everything that he's done has kind of like undermined her decisions. And then when he does apologize to her, it is the most like half-assed thing. He says, my wife threatened to divorce me. I've gone through some shit. It's like, that doesn't take away from like you being an asshole to her, right? And she finally fucking says that. And like this entire season, I've been thinking that like, you know, and I've seen the discourse and it's just frustrated me because they're like, everybody's forgiving and like kind to him. So why can't she? It was like, she doesn't owe him anything. Like she doesn't have to like forgive him, right? He can apologize, but he hasn't. But like she doesn't have to forgive him for being a fucking asshole. And it's just like people lack the complexity of, people lack the intelligence to understand the complexity of being privileged, because the doctor was white, and if he wasn't, if he was either a woman or a doctor of color, he wouldn't have gotten his license back. He wouldn't have been able to come back to any sort of medical practice at all. But because he's white, he's able to not only do that, but come back to the same hospital in the position that he was before he was fired. It's just something that's been bothering me for a while because like he like apologizes at episode 10, which is like 10 weeks of season 2.
Yeah, I mean it's I would like to make a TV show now called Doctor of Color. And it's just these people going, what? The doctor's black? And then, yeah, it's set in 1920. Cool. I got to check out the show, except for all the fucking flaying of skin and, you know, that's only in the first rupturing episode, of anuses or whatever else happens. What, sorry?
That's only in the first episode. The rest is fine.
Skip. Cool. Have you seen anything else?
No.
Good. Do you want to talk about some fucking baller-ass previews for movies that came out?
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. It's not nerd news, everybody. This is what we're going to be calling very, very briefly while these things are out. Trailer trash talk. shall we talk about the Dune Part 3?
Yes.
Not Dune Messiah, as I thought it was going to be called.
Yes, let's talk about
Makes
Dune
more
Part
sense.
3.
Makes more sense to just call it Dune Part 3. It's fantastic. Can't wait. Can't believe it's December and they're giving me a trailer now. You pack of hyenas. I only said the C word then. Okay. You're very Australian today. Pack of hyenas is probably better. Yeah, it looks like they're, I don't know. I feel like it's going to flit around in time because there's a baby and then there's the grown-up version and then it absolutely looks like they're aging them both up. Zendaya and Charmander, aging them up, and then they're going to fight one another because that's sort of how Dune 2 left it, or how it appeared like he left it, you know. And what about Florence Pugh? Like he fought the bald dude. What's his name again? Friedrother. Yes, fought that motherfucker to death, and then now has to marry that white woman.
Yep.
You know. And then in this one, it looks like Robert Pattinson is part of the same species of human that Fade was. Revenge going on. Like what's happening? I wonder.
I mean, I know things, so I can't really. Yeah, I mean, I know things. That's like, so there's a time jump. It's about 17 years. Because Anya Taylor-Joy needs to exist.
In the movie, we understand that the actress Anya Taylor-Joy exists. So don't get upset, Anya. I know you listen to the show.
Anya Taylor-Joy as Paul's sister needs to exist because in the second one, there's only a flash of her and like Lady Jessica's still pregnant with her, and she's talking to her and all that shit. It's so weird. It's like so fun.
That's what's weird. There's a lot of fucking weird shit in these movies. But again, like we were talking about before with Blade Runner and I was just speaking to Tommy on No Country about Alien. This is prestige sci-fi cinema. These are Oscar-nominated movies that are in genre. And you know, I think there's kind of, like I said before, a lot of this stuff is just kind of relegated to, you know, remake town or sequel town or franchise town, and it's about these big corporations dining out on IP and knowing that they're going to make money. Whereas someone like the Denis Villeneuve comes along and makes this incredible trilogy of pictures, the third of which is probably going to fucking sweep the Oscars when it does come out, because that's what they do with trilogies of, you know, these kind of pictures. Look at Lord of the Rings. And takes it seriously. Like if you take the theme seriously and stuff, you could say so much. Like I love genre fiction. Come to think of it, majority of the stuff that I've ever written that's been half good has been genre fiction. I think I've written maybe 3 straight movies in my entire life, and everything else is sci-fi, horror, you know, fantasy sort of stuff. So yeah, it's a really fun playground, and to use these larger themes and unusual worlds and different characters to talk about us, to talk about who we are, you know. And I love that Dune does that. Tell me about what you're excited about this. What about the trailer made you go, ooh, my booty hole?
Man, the trailer was so good that I've started to like reread the first Dune book. And like the trailer came around the time where I was literally reading the chapter where they leave Caladan to like go to Arrakis. Can I tell you, or like when I tell you that I am so fucking excited to see this? And like Greg Fraser is not doing the cinematography for this one.
Yeah, he was busy with the Batman picture, or the second Batman picture rather.
Yeah, but goodness, it looks fucking incredible.
Do you know who it is?
I can look it up.
For me, it was that moment at the end where you see Paul walk up and the army's in front of him, and, you know, the people that he has brought to his cause by being a fanatic. And he says, I'm not afraid to die, but I can't die, you know, not yet, or whatever, you know, about he's still got work to do. And then you see that shot of a bunch of people about to have a fight on the back of a sandworm. Zendaya is one of them. Like, she's got to become the hero in this, right? Like I said, I don't know the books, so I can't really tell.
It is Linus Sandgren.
Oh, yeah.
He did. Oh, shit. He did La La Land, Saltburn, Don't Look Up, Babylon, No Time to Die, American Hustle, First Man. Fuck yeah, this is gonna rule.
Yeah, right. So he's Damien Chazelle's guy.
Yeah, he recently shot Jay Kelly. Oh, this okay. Fuck yeah, this is gonna be good. Yeah, and like the shot that you're talking about in the trailer where he's walking up and he looks at the soldiers ready to fight the war. It is a direct comparison of the trailer of the second film where he's walking up into like from a cave outside looking over his army, and in the distance you see a blast and just the difference in expression. And I'm so excited to finally see like the actual reason for Frank Herbert to write Dune, which is a warning to human society about what happens when you blindly follow a fake or a false prophet. And I am genuinely so excited to see people misunderstand this all over again.
Yeah, absolutely. There's someone always watching these movies wrong. But it's also about no matter what happens, no one ever wins a fight. You know, like war is, ironically, war under any circumstances, whether it's for spice or religious doctrines and ideologies or fucking oil or whatever's going on, most of the fucking time, it's always a bad idea. And I think, yeah, people are going to miss that. And also, everybody, don't worry about Timothy Chalamet. What's his name again?
Timothy Chalamet, yeah.
Timothy Chalamet. He's a fucking kid, and he said something stupid on a podcast or a TV show about ballet and opera, and everybody's getting their knickers in a twist. Like, I totally understand it. My wife works for the ballet. I understand how disrespectful and short-sighted it was of a comment to say. He's a fucking idiot kid from Hollywood. He's rich and famous, and he was on the Oscar trail, and he thought he was untouchable, and he opened his big mouth. And just the more attention you give it, the more foolish you look. And anybody who follows him, the way that people follow Paul Atreides and say, oh, well, that means I'm not going to go and see ballet and opera. They're not the kind of people you want to come to see your shit anyway. Ballet and opera are doing just fine. Trust me. They're the most well-funded arts programs on the planet in every country they're in. Ballet and opera are always the most well-funded, whether it's privately or by the government. Yeah, just remember, he's a fucking child, but for the most part, you know, he's grown up famous, he's grown up privileged, and he has absolutely no frame of reference. That motherfucker's not going to get out on stage and dance and do like fucking 12 shows a week and work for minimum fucking wage and be a professional athlete for his entire career and then have to retire with barely anything compared to sports stars or whatever. You know, he can't hit a right note, let alone find something deep inside himself and pull it out and sing on stage like an opera singer and have it shake the very walls. He can't do that. He's a fucking actor. So maybe just forget about it. It's all good. We know you're cool. We know you motherfuckers. We know you've got your shit, you know, and everybody's watching. Dumb Hollywood kid. Don't even worry about it, everyone. We see you.
Like exactly what you said. I feel the exact same way.
It's just like there's such a need for. It's in that great song that from Inside what's the cat's name? Inside with, he was the comedian who made that sort of like.
Oh, Bo Burnham?
Bo Burnham, yeah. That's, you know, the great show that he did, Inside, where he wrote all those different songs. And you know, there's that one particular song where he's singing about like the dichotomy and the sort of polarity of different things in our world, like, you know, stunning 8K resolution meditation app, you know, a book on getting better hand delivered by a drone, the whole world at your fingertips, the ocean at your door. And one of the lines that is particularly pertains to this is the backlash to the thing that's just begun. It's just this immediate, and the need for I was at the gym and it's the only time I ever see broadcast news, funnily enough. And it was on the news. I'm like, how the fuck is this news? There's a fucking war going on. Like, is it going to hurt his Oscar chances? No. Do you know what is? Double B. Jordan, motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's what's going to hurt his Oscar chances. Coming in here with count them, two brothers, two distinctly different characters, and one of them ends up a vampire. Fuck you, you table tennis playing, skinny, prepubescent idiot child. Suck my Willy Wonka. Oh, God. Anyway, what are we talking about? Dune.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
He deserved the shit out of that Oscar.
He absolutely fucking did.
So gracious with his speech as well. Like, you know, thanking the people that came before him and stuff. What a class act. Yeah. I love it.
Also,
he's got a blank check now, that kid. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
I genuinely fucking shut up and screamed when he won. Because like how the awards were going, it didn't feel like he was going to win.
I feel like it is a disappointment that as much as I love One Battle After Another, I would have liked it if Sinners had won.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it was the strongest vision of last year, you know, in terms of execution.
I saw somebody say, and I don't completely agree with this, because like One Battle After Another is a really complex film that knows what it's talking about. It's just, I saw somebody say, who I guess did not understand the film. They said that One Battle After Another doesn't know what it is, and Sinners knows exactly what the fuck it is. I was like, I can understand your argument, but I don't think you watched the film the way that you should have.
Yeah. I also think that Sinners is far more complex than that. You know, it plays itself as a vampire story, but it's not. It's you know, there's an awful lot going on there. It's about sort of generational trauma and shit. Like it's much more sophisticated. And One Battle After Another knew what it was. It was this like comedy thriller. You know, and it was about legacy and, you know, and about we have the same problems that we always have, and we pass them down to you know, our children, and pass them on to our children, and they're the ones who are going to make a change. That's why it ends with her being like, be careful out there, you know, never, and shuts the door or whatever it is. Yeah.
Before we move on,
Dune.
Yes, I just want to go back to Dune for a minute and just say, in the trailer when he's humming, and he's like pouring water on his freshly shaved hair, it was giving very Marlon Brando in Apocalypse Now, like
100%,
very much.
Absolutely,
so.
He's Kurtz. Yeah, he's everyone's drunk the Kool-Aid, and he's being looked at as some sort of you know, messiah.
He is. Oh my God, you're so right. Because everybody has drunk the Kool-Aid. Everybody has blue eyes.
Yes, that's right. Everybody's high as shit and be going, this fucking guy, man, did you hear what he said? Ballet does suck. Like, you know what I mean? That joke would have been better had I not done the huge rant. I don't have a problem with Charlemagne, honestly. I think he's a really, really talented actor. He just needs to, you know, shut up and do the job, because otherwise he's going to end up turning into Shia LaBeouf, and he's going to say the wrong thing at the wrong time and reveal too much of himself and completely destroy his career. So yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be a great film and a really good ending. And I'm so glad that Denis has come back to do it, because I know that there was talk that he wasn't going to, and he was going to go on and do Bond, and I know that's still happening and everything. But yeah, I'm glad that, like, to finish that trilogy out says so much more than. That's why the first 3 Indiana Jones films are separate to the other 2, because it's a continuity of service, if you want to call it, you know, or Lord of the Rings being the same. So yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and also like it being part 3 is not saying that it's not an adaptation of Dune Messiah, because it 100% is. But Denis Villeneuve has said this, and like reading the book, it's very clear that like the book is the world with Paul in it. There are things about the world that you understand and you get to know, and Paul is just part of it. And you just happen to follow Paul, right? He just happens to be the lead of the at least the first 2 books. The films, however, it is very much a Paul story, very much centered towards Paul. So like 1, 2, and 3 are his journey. So, well, yes, Danny Villeneuve is probably not adapting all of Dune Messiah, as in like all of the things that happen in the world, because it's just not Arrakis. But Paul's story takes place on Arrakis, therefore it is always Arrakis for him. Yeah, I'm very, very excited to see where we go at the end of this. If there are openings for like Children of Dune or Heretics of Dune, that will be psychedelic dreams for sure.
Yeah. I dig it all. You can keep making these. If they make you money and you've got something to say, that's awesome. Spider-Man Brand New Day. Addie sent me the link for this, and I was having a particularly shitty day, and fuck, did it cheer me up. I dig it. I'm here for it all. I was so skeptical, honestly, and you know this if you listen to the show, we've talked about it before. I'm like, how are they going to fit all this fucking shit in? What are you talking about? It's going to be overstuffed and ridiculous. And like, you know, like a typical fucking troll. But I stand corrected. I am a scientist. I take on new information and then adjust my calculations from there. This thing looks fucking awesome. I love the change in visual style and visual tone, like the new Dustin
Daniel Cretton.
Dustin Daniel Cretton puts a camera inside the mask, you know, for a drop down shot. It seems darker. It seems edgier. It has even Holland is bigger. He's a bigger guy, because you got to think in the interim years. And I rewatched No Way Home just the other night. In the interim years, he's just been Spider-Manning. So he's peak. He's he's so fit. That's all he does. He's just Spider-Man. He's got nothing else. He doesn't even know anybody anymore. No one knows him. So all he does is, like, you know, his Facebook stalk, his Instagram stalk, his old friends, and you know, go out and kick people's asses as Spider-Man. And I really like Tom Holland. I know people give him a lot of shit, which is just fucking, you know, ridiculous. I mean, he loves ballet. You know he loves ballet because he was in the Billy Elliots. Like, of course. He's a very intelligent young man, and the reason he's famous is because of Spider-Man. If it wasn't for Spider-Man, he'd still be acting, and he'd still be very, very good. And you know, there's a lot of stuff around him and Zendaya and all that shit that has no bearing on his ability to be an actor or play Spider-Man for that matter. Just separate all that for a second. He's really good at the job. He's matured really nicely in the role. And this is a really interesting new take. And in terms of evolution of what these films are and evolution of him as a performer, the evolution of the character Spider-Man is taking on a physical aspect where he is, you know, I know the voice too. Is it the guy who's talking over the trailer? Is it Keith David?
So a lot of people said it's Keith David. Keith David is not part of this film. It can be Tombstone. I believe it's the Watcher, Jeffrey Wright, because it's talking about his mutation to the audience.
But that's, and you know, to him sort of feeling sick and waking up, and there's 3 cycles of the spider, and of course it's going to be, you know, it's going to be birth, death, and rebirth. So that's birth in this, and the halfway through the next sequel, and then death, and then rebirth is Miles coming in. Like that's what it's going to be, you know. And I'm so excited, but also, you know, to have it still take place in the MCU and to bring this stuff in, he calls the Punisher Frank. Like, he knows who he is. He's been on the streets. He's run in with Frank before. He's in New York. He's fighting crime on a street level. He's fucking going up against the Hand. That means that at some stage Daredevil is going to come into this, maybe to, you know, do a Shadowlands thing like I was talking about might happen in Born Again Season 2, which begins next week, motherfuckers. You know, you've got Tombstone, you've got Scorpion, you've got these great rogues. Like, it's so exciting to see some of this stuff used in interesting and you know, some new ingenuity going on in the construction. Even the look of it, like I said, like you pointed it out, he dives off the building and the suit ripples, just like from Amazing 2, you know. And when he's, you know, you see him and he's stacked, he's just physically stacked, and he's in all the webs and stuff. And then there's that great shot where he the evolution of the spider, and his eyes go black, and he webs up that he's got the biological web shooting now,
organic
and it's
webs.
stronger, and he whips up the sword and snaps the sword in half, and then the final shot is him diving off of a building towards like 8 fucking hand ninjas. Oh, I can't fuck them. This is the most excited I've been about a Marvel movie. The TV's been pretty great. Like, I was really pumped when Moon Knight came out, and I really loved Wonder Man and stuff. But I'm the most pumped about this movie I have been since probably Endgame. Just in terms of being like, oh, I can't wait till that comes out. I'm going to be sitting. I was even more like skeptical about the last Spider-Man movie than I am about this. I'm ready for this to be whatever the fuck it is.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Okay. You go. You go now.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with everything you said. Also, like the last shot is kind of like the shot in the trailer of No Way Home, where there are like 6 villains and 1 Spider-Man, but the actual scene is like 6 villains and 3 Spider-Man.
3 Spider-Mans? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I feel like it's either the Hulk or Matt with him in that scene.
That would be cool.
You cannot bring in the Hand and not have Matt, Especially when Frank is here.
He has to play somewhere. Yeah, exactly, and we don't know what, like, it could lead seamlessly into it. What if in the last episode of Born Again Season 2, Pete turns up?
That would be awesome.
People would be masturbating their penises and anuses and vaginas, like, insanely over that,
Yeah, like legally speaking, that's almost impossible, but fuck, it would be fucking incredible if
Why?
that happened. Well, because Spider-Man is owned by Disney, and so you could Spider-Man is owned by Sony, and so they only have a film deal. That's why Kingpin can't live action Kingpin D'Onofrio can't show up in a Spider-Man film. Because it's a
fucking grow up, everybody.
Yeah, because it's a Fox character that has to go from Fox to Disney and then Sony, and it's all that. But fuck, man, it'll be cool.
Suck the longest part of my dick with all of that fucking nonsense.
So just the balls
bullshit. Just get together and tell good stories, you bunch of wankers. These are the end times. Let's try and enjoy ourselves.
I'm just gonna say this, man. The suit looks incredible. There's color in the suit.
Yeah,
there's color,
and it doesn't look high tech, and it was like the suit. As much as it makes sense story wise, the Iron Spider suit is like, I don't want to see Iron Man Spider-Man. I want to see Spider-Man Spider-Man.
Yeah, and for all the great that it was still a little gray.
It all looks really flat. And that's why when he dives off a building and you give that suit ripples, you give it an actual texture. And it interacts. It has physics involved. It totally makes sense,
Yeah, my single favorite shot of that trailer is the shot inside the mask where you see him going down through his eye, and it's just you see that's like a reference to Tony Stark, obviously, right? But it's also you see how alone he is.
Yeah,
like before this, if we would have had a shot of him in the mask, he would have been talking to Friday or whatever, but he is all alone, and this motherfucker is broke and depressed and going through life in the most worst way possible, and I'm so happy.
but that's what good storytelling is. Like, what's the old adage? What do you do with your lead character? In the first act, you chase him up a tree. In the second act, you throw rocks at him. And in the third act, you help him figure out how to get down. And that's what they're doing with Pete. He's currently up a tree and having rocks thrown at him. He's lost everything. He's lost his family. He's lost his friends. As soon as he became Spider-Man, Iron Man knew about it. He was a fucking Avenger overnight. In this first movie, his best friend finds out and becomes his guy in the chair. In the fucking second movie, his girlfriend finds out and becomes his cohort. He's working with fucking Doctor Strange in the third one. And he's got 2 fucking alternate reality brothers. And you take all that away and just leave a man and a mission. In fact, he has more in common with Frank than he does the version of that he was when he was himself. He's also older. They're college age now. He's not young, wide-eyed, I love being a superhero. He probably fucking hates it, in fact. because of his being Spider-Man, he has lost everything, and he does it now out of obligation. He's like, well, someone's got to do it, you know, and it's a job, and that's why he's so good at it, because it's mechanical. And where does the drama come in from that? You know, it comes in from him pining for these people who he once knew. It's so interesting. It's such an interesting place to leave that character, especially considering Pete has always been, you know, the quippy Spider-Man. I don't think he's going to be quippy at all. I think he's going to be quippy my ass and kick people in the fucking face, you know. Anyway, I'm super excited about it. We've been going on far too long about trailers and Timothy Chalamet's and the Tom Hollandses. What we really need to be talking about is robots and do they count?
And love and death.
And love and death, yeah. And do they count Electric Sheep? It's Blade Runner.
Yeah.
It's excellent. From 1982, the year of my birth, and
oh shit,
it's a Ridley Scott picture.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good year, 1982 for movies. It's always fun to look up your birth year and see what came out. Ridley Scott, it's probably my favourite Ridley Scott movie. Maybe Alien after that. Yeah, just exceptional. Harrison Ford looking fucking absolutely delicious as this grizzled motherfucker. Just, he wants 4 of those dim sims. He wants 4, and the guy will only give him 2. And noodles. And then fucking Edward James Olmos turns up and ruins his day. Anyway, so let me just do a quick fill in here. Blade Runner, if anybody hasn't seen it, I don't know why you're listening to this podcast, but it's about in the future, synthetic humans are made basically to be slaves, but they are also intelligent and super strong. So some of them have rebelled and come to Earth after leaving a mining colony. And Deckard is Harrison Ford's character, is a Blade Runner who is a sort of private eye, but also police adjacent, who are tasked with hunting down rogue synthetics and killing them. This isn't called execution; it is called retirement, and that's sort of where we kick off. But yeah, as we were saying before, like you came to it fairly recently. I can't imagine watching for this for the first time with it. Did you have any previous about it at all?
Absolutely not. I didn't know what this film was about until I watched it.
Yeah, wow. And did you watch it because you knew that it was this sort of, you know, well-loved classic? Or
yeah, I mean, like through osmosis, I knew how much this film was talked about, and how revolutionary it was. Not only the concepts that it has, but also like how they made it, like everything that went on behind the scenes. And I ended up watching the final cut, which is the only cut I've ever watched.
Yeah, I mean, like I said in the roundup, it's final cut or bust, honestly. The original theatrical version had voiceover, Harrison Ford's voiceover, and he hated it. And so did Ridley Scott, but the studio was concerned that people wouldn't understand the movie, which is horseshit. Like it's just visually it's doing enough that you can kind of you understand what's happening and what it means as well. And I believe the director's cut's slightly longer than the final cut. I think he went back and, you know, trimmed things out and stuff, but I couldn't tell you what the exact differences are. If anybody knows, feel free to shout at us in the comments, or even, you know, whisper politely. I think the thing for me that really stands out, and I saw this maybe 3 years ago with a live orchestra, and it was pretty great. They did it here at Hamer Hall in Melbourne. And the thing that I took away from it most this time on rewatch was things took longer back then. Effects, camera setups, just lighting a set, doing things like matte paintings and painting them and building them into camera. And so movies felt more patient and better paced. They allowed there to be silence, just like we were talking about before, you know, like if this was made now, the voiceover would probably be there, or Deckard would be telling you everything about himself. But it adheres to the best and most useful bit of screenwriting advice I think anyone can ever give or get. It's arrive late, leave early. Like, get into something when you're already in the action. This film opens with the Voight comp test, and you don't know what the fuck's going on. There's a bit of text at the beginning that explains to you the world, and you're in the world, and here you are in it. And one of these motherfuckers blows a dude or through a fucking wall, like, and you're on. It's just on, and everything now is just it's so immediate. Everything's so rushed. It doesn't feel special. Every time I watch Blade Runner, it's special. It feels special. The lights go down, the phone goes away. Sometimes if I'm watching a movie for the show, I'll make notes or I'll look up trivia or whatever, especially if it's something I've seen before, but not with Blade Runner. It goes in the other room, the lights come down, the fucking scene is set, and it's Blade Runner, motherfucker, and you don't mess around. And that's why I love it so much. It really has that. Yeah, that there's something else going on here that's more important than whatever else you could possibly be doing at that time. Like, if I was sitting with someone else and they tried to talk to me during this, I would punch them in the clitoris or the dick, whatever's there, whatever's down there.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I've broken Hattie. Or just a bean flick. Bloop. Shut up. Blip. Shut up. Flick.
Here, I'll maybe just like pause it for a second.
Are you saying just pause and tell them to be quiet? No.
Yeah, you're disrupting the flow of the film. Then
genital trauma. Yeah, no, that's what I go for. If you interrupt Blade Runner, genitals. All right.
I had a thesis for doing this episode. I wanted to do Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049, and you so graciously agreed, because I felt like both of them were asking a question. And like you said, like how you feel about watching the film is that there's a story, but there's something else, like something really special going on, right? I feel like that's what's happening in the story as well. Like, 'cause on the surface, this is a story about a detective trying to find killers, right? Criminals. There's something else going on. Yes, they're killers, but they're dying to live. Like every fleeting moment of their life, they're trying to grasp at something to make it all worth it, right? And they only live for 4 years.
Yeah, and they don't know that.
Yeah.
When the big guy comes after Deckard and he's like, "How long do I live?" And he's like, "How long have I been alive?" Yeah, all they want is more life. Yeah, there's something fantastically tragic about each of them in an individual way. I think about Priss. It says really casually, the guy's just like, yeah, she was a pleasure model on the outposts. So she was a fuckbot for a bunch of, minors. The depravity that she would have had to endure, and these things are sentient. They have feelings and pain centers and emotional responses. It doesn't matter that they were built, or how far they evolve, which is what happens in this. They've evolved to start feeling themselves. If you give something intelligence, that intelligence will thrive in the right environment. Yeah, I always think about Priss,
Yeah, she's the one that's stuck with me as well.
Yeah, and that she doesn't know any other way as well, like where she meets up with the toy maker,
Sebastian,
and she's like, we scared each other pretty good, didn't we? Like she's so anxious to get on his good side, and then to kind of seduce him into allowing Roy to come in, and to take him to go and see, their maker. But she can't explain to him, we are, like, if anyone's going to understand, it's going to be Sebastian. We are synthetic beings and we have a right to be alive as well. Like, but yet she still feels the need to go with programming. Yeah.
I mean, this film is asking like the actual question of the book, which is do androids dream of electric sheep? As in, like, now that we know that they're here, right? And there's no like disassociating that they're not real. They are technically they're real in the life. So do they and like are in this to like replicate us as well, like be as human as human. So do they, like, it comes out of curiosity, like, do they dream? And like, if they do, what exactly is it? Like, do they, like, does their insides work the same way as ours does? And I feel like, in contrast, 2049 asks, does it matter if they dream? But I feel like this one asks the same thing. Like it was asking this question all along, and I thought that it was the second film, but like this film as well, it asks, does it matter if they're synthetic beings who have intelligence? Because they're real, they feel things. Like, for them to be treated this way, does it, like, yes, they killed 23 people to get on this planet, but they're doing that because they want to live, because they want to meet their maker, to have the answers to the questions that they don't. Because, like, we can't meet our, like, creator, right? Like, if you subscribe to that kind of like, religious ideologies, then like, you cannot meet your God in like, life form, but they can. And them seeking out, like, the scene with Tyrell and Roy is like, it is like Tyrell seems to think of Roy as this prodigal son returning back to him to now be great again, and that's not what Roy is. Roy knows that he's dying. He will die at any moment, and to have him be able to meet his maker and then be disappointed is fucking phenomenal.
He's also a revolutionary. You know, he understands that he not only is responsible for his charges in the other synths but also for all of the replicants. And that's why his speech at the end is so powerful. You know, I've seen things that you people wouldn't believe. Like, you gave me this humanity, you gave me this stuff, and then you question when I question.
Yeah.
Not only my existence, but why did you give me all this power if you didn't want me to exceed you in a lot of ways? And it's hubristic. It's, the Tyrell Corporation would think that they could create something that was this strong and this intelligent and this able to outdo human evolution, and then control it by giving it a 4-year lifespan. Like, Rachel proves that point. She doesn't know that she's a replicant, and she doesn't, like, even though maybe she doesn't age, she doesn't die after the time when that line that Edward James almost says, it's too bad she won't live, but then again, who does? She does. Like, we know that from the sequel. I think, did you hear the cat? He's just sleeping next to me and just did a big, I wish you'd shut up and stop podcasting and just give me fish snacks. You're all right, Paulie. For me, I think the answer comes unequivocally from Deckard, and he is our proxy, you know. And he's also the one you think's the hero, but he's kind of not. It is kind of Roy, really, and the one who has the most. Deckard goes on an interesting journey because he goes in, being a famous Blade Runner, and I need the old Blade Runner back, and, well, it's going to cost you more, and I'm a drunk detective, and that's how I roll. And he's going to keep doing the things that he does. He's going to investigate that photograph until he finds that one piece of information. That's like my favorite scene, where he's just sitting there on the floor drinking and going, yeah, track left, and it goes to the thing. He's going to go to that club where the woman's got the fake snake, and he gets the maker, and he's like, oh, I'm from the such and such, and, have you been treated well by your management? And he's doing that great fake voice. Like, this is all great noir detective shit. But when he kills that replicant whose name escapes me, the snake woman. Anyway, you know the one I'm talking about. He shoots her in the back and she smashes through a bunch of plate glass.
Yeah,
it's incredible. Zora, there is such regret and fear there, because at that point he's met Rachel, and she's had an alarming effect on him. And then through their very aggressive love scene and the sub-dom nature of that, and him using his knowledge about, like, replicants' docile nature, and to to please, because that's what they're built for, is to be, used by humanity. But then for that to turn into love, do you love me? Do you trust me? And it's that final scene where he's had the fight with Roy, and, he's like, we've got to get out of here. They're going to come after you, and they're going to come after me, and we've got to go. And, he's sort of being really careful in the hallway. And then he looks down and he sees the little unicorn that the guy made. And you hear the line again, it's too bad she won't live, but then again, who does? And he just sort of nods and turns around, and the camera like really ugly tracks him. It's not a steady cam, it's not a dolly shot. It is an ugly handheld shot that tracks him as he walks into the lift, and the door stays open just for a second, and he turns around, and the determination on his face, and then the look that she gives him of like, I do trust him. I'm going to follow this man, and him like, she deserves to live. Like it says so much with that tiny little artifact, that tiny little unicorn, and then the actual understanding from Harrison's character of, yes, they do deserve, a chance. And that's what I'm going to give her. And he does. We know that he does, because then he goes on to have a life with her for the most part. Yeah. The other thing as well, when I was talking about before, that I wrote an essay for this from my Year 12 English final assessment, or final exam. The question was, is Deckard a replicant or not?
Yeah. Okay.
And discuss. And even though I don't believe this, and I now know that it's obviously not the case, if you think that 49 is canon, I argued in the affirmative, even though I believed it was the negative, because I thought in order to have a stronger argument, to take the opposing way of thinking, I might think it through more and not just go with whatever my gut instinct is. And it was a really interesting way to sort of think about the movie in general. Did you ever sort of come across that thesis?
Online debate, but like not as I'm like engaging with it. So in your essay, you took the side that he is a replicant?
Yes.
Okay. However, you don't believe that he is.
I don't. No, I think he's a human, but the idea that he wouldn't be makes sense, because he's outmoded. He's an older model, so that's why he doesn't work so good anymore. When he comes back, it's like, I need the old Blade Runner back, and he just does it. He just comes back. It's sort of not a huge fight, because he's built to please. He's built to be an asset. It also makes sense why the questioning that he uses during the Voight Comp, and the responses that he gets, and the way that he behaves when he gets those responses, and the kinship that he feels with Rachel, and all that stuff. Like, it's all, and the fact that he understands that synthetic memories are built. He's like, that wasn't you. That was Tyrell's niece, the spider, and it gave birth to babies and it ate it. You remember that happening? And he's like, it's a joke. It's a joke. Like, he's so convinced he's human, it's almost too far. Yeah. So, that was kind of my argument. And I got a motherfucking A, so I must have been at least convincing, if not right.
Yeah. I feel like this film, it generally just does start off with Deckard being a machine, like a machine to the system of oppression. Yeah. And through his journey of getting closer to Roy, he becomes more human, because you can see the shift in him. Like Deckard at the beginning of this film is not willing to risk his life for a replicant. By him at the end.
No.
Yeah. Okay, let's do this. So you believe that he is human, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think so.
No?
No.
Why does he age then?
That's a good question. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But
I mean, maybe they're built, if they do have a longer shelf life, maybe they just age like everybody else. I don't know. I need to watch 2049 again, because it's been a little while. So
there's a shot in the film. I think it's in the bathroom where she's like looking at him as he like takes his shirt off in the most like weird fucking way ever. He like unbuttons one button and then takes it off as a t-shirt. But he has like cuffed buttons on his on his wrist, and like, what are you doing?
I think he's beat up and half drunk. One time, I must tell you, I had a friend and we were talking about sort of, the worst drunk stories or whatever. He was at a party and he was walking home and he got set upon by a local gang. This was back in the 90s. And they got out of the car and chased him and he ran through like a bunch of backyards. And he ran through a clothesline at one point. And he managed to get home and get into bed and was safe. And he woke up the next morning with a shirt on that wasn't his, but it was buttoned up. I was like, that's not weird, Barry. And he was, I shouldn't say his real name. Oh, fuck it, whatever. His name was Barry. I was like, that's not weird. He goes, yeah, but I'd buttoned it up. I'm like, what? Why the fuck did you do that? He's like, I don't know. I guess it just felt like the thing to do. Another friend of mine woke up in the middle of the night with a hot dog still in the bun, like stuck on his back. I was like, do you remember going to bed with it? He said, no. Did you have roommates? No. Just a hot dog. I said, are you making them? Are you making them somehow with your body? Like, do you secrete hot dog? That's fucking weird. Were you a replicant?
Do you secrete hot dog?
Do you secrete hot dog? That's weird. Sorry, go back to your explanation of how he is a synthetic, a replicant.
The film makes this case too. I don't know if you noticed, but there's a shot like after like in the bathroom, like Rachel's looking at him as he takes his shirt off, and then he's washing his face and everything, and then she goes into the bathroom and he goes behind her. And as he goes behind her, his eyes glow, like the replicant's eyes.
Yeah,
but
right.
He's in the background, out of focus, and you can just see his eyes glow, like his pupils.
I've noticed that before. Yeah, right on.
Secondly, the whole like unicorn thing, right? Is like that's his dream, but when he finds the origami unicorn at the end, it's like his partner who has come in and did the origami for him. Like for me, that was a message to him that like he knows that memory is synthetic and not his because they both have it, and there's no reason for him. Like the film doesn't make a case for him to know that Deckard had the guy that Deckard was working with, right? Like there's no reason for him to know if Deckard had that dream, but the fact that he puts the origami unicorn over there, it shows that they both have it. Like they both had that dream, and so they both kind of know that they're replicants. I mean, it would make sense that a police force would be built on that as well because they're expendable. Yeah. And so that makes perfect sense. The unicorn thing is new as well. That's not part of the original cut. That the unicorn origami was, but the actual insert of Deckard's dream wasn't there. So that's another interesting argument for that he is, in that it was added later on. I think Ridley Scott even came out and said, yeah, actually he is, but that's just him as the director. It's not his story. Like he didn't write the story or anything. So, but I find this really fascinating because that's. Like you said, like it would make sense for like a police force to be replicants, to be like they're in the business of service to serve, and that's kind of what 2049 is.
Yeah, or even more so. The other thing I want to talk about, I know we don't normally sort of get into this as deeply as maybe we should, but because we tend to talk about story and character and feeling and theme and the more emotional sides of what movies do to us, but it can't be mistaken in this film, the design of it, that kind of American sort of excess meets, Asian sort of building upwards and all the neon and the way that the cultures are integrated and all that stuff. Firefly stole a fucking awful lot of. The cinematography and the, as I said, the design, the prop work and the scale work and the matte painting and just the whole sort of feeling of it is quintessential. Like it can't be, you can put it in another movie and it's like, oh, it looks like Blade Runner. You know what I mean? Like it's that kind of movie. Oh, it's like Blade Runner, but on steroids, or it's like Blade Runner, but in fucking Jamaica or whatever, that sort of the catch-all of Blade Runner of being the sort of the peak of sci-fi noir, really, particularly the final cut, which leans more into it. But that element is always striking every time I see it. But the thing that got me the most this time, and it's interesting that a film that you've seen so many times over so many years can reveal itself to you more and more, was the fucking score. Like this deep synth, ambient noir stuff that's going on. And it's really, there's no sort of propulsion, there's no excitement about it. It's just this sort of underlying drone of music that goes on, these beautiful sort of tinkling starlight sounds that go on as well. And there's a great, you can listen to this score obviously, but there's a great producer called Lux, Lux, and they do kind of like themed vibe scores, or themed not vibe, they have kind of like a different feel for each thing. Like, one will be kind of a techno samurai kind of situation, and then another one will be more of like big scores. But one of the ones they do is just called Blade Runner Vibes, and it's an album, and I've been listening to that a lot. It's even got rain sound in it and stuff. Like, yeah, that's I was during my writing sessions over the last week, I was listening to that quite a bit. So yeah, it's as close to a perfect movie as I think you can never get, really. And the more I see it, the more I like it. It's one of those growers where every time I see it, there's something more I take away and more I appreciate. It's my business partner Dan's favorite movie, and we talk about it a lot. And he's got some fantastic theories on it. And he's and I actually said to him, like, "Hey, dude, we're doing it on the show. What version should I watch?" And he's like, "Final cut or bust." It's just always got to be the final cut, because it is the ultimate, the peak of this storytelling.
Yeah, it's also interesting that you say that, like, the design of the world itself, like the design of the world itself, like it tells the story of like what this world has become. Like this is humanity in the future, and there are poisonous gases everywhere. Like this is Los Angeles, where you never see the sun because there's so much pollution in the air that it's always dark. And you only see the sun when you get to Tyrell, and Tyrell is so up high, right? And it is the class system that is in place. But also it also shows like in the future, in this world, humanity doesn't go like to another planet to inhabit because Earth is inhabitable, or has become inhabitable. We add to it, like uninhabitable. Sorry, but we keep adding to it to a point where like they're buildings on buildings on buildings, and it's endless, and it felt like a really tired version of like industrial evolution.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see the plumes of fire coming out of the different apparatus, the social apparatus, or the industrial apparatus of whatever it is that they're making, something for somewhere else. And yeah, that the haves and the have-nots, the dichotomy of the classes, and it's very specific. And that most of the work is off-world.
Yeah.
That's another really important part of it, and sort of very typical of this sort of dystopian vision of what our future might possibly be, in the Huxley kind of sci-fi bent of that. It's all going to end poorly, but yeah, I think that it speaks a lot in just without saying anything. It's one of those movies you could turn the sound off and very easily just enjoy what's happening there, and the blocking and the way that the camera is so intimate and yet so detached, depending on who it's talking to or who it's talking about.
Just thinking about like how it ends with like Tears and Rain with Roy, and like he is at that moment not, and like the last sequence, he is in that moment not trying to kill him, but he is trying to live to the last seconds of his life. that is why he pierces like the nail in his hand, and it's like the Christ imagery, and it's very like it's not an accident that's there. And it is, him trying to feel anything while feeling that he's dying.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it's also interesting that final sequence after Pris dies becomes a chase sequence in which the hero is being chased by the villain.
Yeah.
Or depending on how you see it, like it's not Deckard hunting down the last replicant to kill them. It's Roy being like, you've murdered the last of my family and you're going to pay for it. And you are going to pay by understanding that you've been wrong this whole fucking time. So much so that you're going to completely change your shit up and go on the run with one of us. And I love the nail through the hand to feel, and then he uses that same hand to pull Deckard up off of the drain pipe that he's falling from, and then to educate him with like starships on fire off the shoulder of Orion, and the dove that he's holding. It's no wonder you can study it in a scholastic kind of setting, because it's just so rich with theme and metaphor. And even if you're looking for it and it's not there, but you're looking for it because it is interesting to maybe have some opinions or ideals about things that maybe aren't there but could be there for you.
Like the fact that the replicants exist, and the fact that like this synthetic life exists, means that we have strayed so far away from like our organic nature, and that's shown in the world because there's not a single shot of a plant. Yeah.
And if it is, it's or an animal, it's obviously not real.
It's not real, and it's like there's no green in this film.
No, not in the least. I also love in that scene where he's just thinking about all the different scenes, where there might have been plants or whatever. He goes into the bar and he wants to talk to that guy, and he won't talk to him, the guy about the synthetic snake, and he's like, "Give this man a drink, he looks dry." And he just has one. He's just like, yeah, cool, I'll get pissed and like drunk, call my hoped for poke later on, my potential poke of a replicant woman, and come down to the bar, baby. It's just, it's going to be awesome down here. They've fucking got a jukebox and everything. It's like, don't call me when you're drunk. Click. It's just there's so much to dig into in terms of what it's saying about us now and then, about people and the way that we rely on technology as well, and that a knee-jerk reaction or a knee-jerk response to technical evolution is without real proper discourse and understanding as well of how to use it and if it should be used. And what it says about us and our humanity is really interesting, particularly now. It's just a movie that keeps on rewarding time and time again. I fucking love it.
I feel like we had this debate as well. It's like, is Deckard a human or a replicant? And like by the end of it, even if you're asking that while watching it, by the end of it, the question changed to does it matter? Right. And
ultimately the answer is no.
Yeah.
Because he is human enough to love, and that's all that's important, really.
Yeah, like he starts off as a machine in a system that is killing these beings, right? Like even the scroll tells us how to feel about this. Like the opening scroll is like, this is not called execution, this is called retirement. Right? That it should be called that because that's what's happening, but it's not. It's called retirement because they want to feel like humans are superior, right?
Yes, yeah.
And
he shoots one in the back, like that is what an execution is. It can't be denied,
This is not the first time that he's done it, but you can see the toll that it's taken on him. That's why he doesn't want to do it in the first place. From being a machine, or at least acting like one, right? To be on that rooftop meeting Roy halfway and taking his humanity, a machine that is more human than human, taking his humanity and then changing his life. It is, I cannot tell you how that made me feel.
It's incredibly powerful storytelling, absolutely. It's Blade Runner, everybody, from 1982. Do check it out if you haven't, or do check it out again and maybe watch it with new eyes based on our conversation. Running a little short on time here, so perhaps we do sort of favourite bits quickly and then we'll get into any questions. Are there questions today?
Yep, then we have 2 questions.
Cool. 2 questions, all right. Let me, okay, favourite scene and favourite line.
Okay.
1 each.
You go first.
Okay. Favourite line is absolutely what I said at the start, too bad she won't live, then again, who does? And my favourite scene is where he orders noodles. I just fucking love it every time he goes there. 4 of these. And the guy's like, 2. He's like, no, 4, 2, 2, 4. And he's like, 2. And he's like, and noodles. And just sits down and wants to have his noodles. And it's just, then he's been waiting in the rain, reading his newspaper. Like, that's the funny answer. But the real answer is that final soliloquy from Roy, that moment,
Yeah.
all those things lost like tears in the rain. It's just beautiful.
Yeah. That was also an ad-lib. Like, it wasn't part of the fucking script.
That's what happens when an actor locks in and they get into the mode of who they are and what they're doing, and they become, and they stop trusting the words and the preparedness and all of that stuff, and they're just on set covered in fake rain and the camera's rolling, and you're like, I have a voice and I have an opinion about this, and I'm gonna say it, and you get one of the most iconic moments in cinema history.
Yeah,
fucking R.I.P. Rutger Hauer. Like, he was one of the greats.
Without a fucking doubt, man. Like, that is,
yeah,
it's still the thing that sticks with you the most because it changes everything that you've seen.
Yeah, it shifts the movie completely, and you all of a sudden are you kind of on Roy's team.
Yeah. Man, I'm not gonna, because obviously, like, my favorite scene is Tears in the Rain, but like, if it wasn't that, it would be there when he goes to meet Tyrell, when Roy goes to meet Tyrell, and the wonder on Tyrell's face compared to the despair on Roy's face is like, that's the point of his entire character right there.
Yeah. And he doesn't know what's coming.
Yeah.
And Roy does. He's like, I came here to kill you. He doesn't say that, but that's what he wants to do. And the anguish on his face when he squeezes his maker's head until it pops like a fucking grape. Outstanding. Fucking
incredible.
And what's your favorite line?
My favorite line is this testing whether or not I'm a replicant or a lesbian, Mr. Deckard?
So great.
We haven't talked about Rachel, but she is incredible, man. He was such an incredible character. I mean,
such a great character, and so much power, and just the perfect noir. Not femme fatale. Well, she kind of is a femme fatale, but she's more of like, she's our girl Friday. Like, she is the cool center of the hero, and Sean Young just plays it so well. There is a real robotic part to her, but there is such a woundedness when she finds out that she's synthetic, and she plays it so beautifully, and what an incredible actress. An incredible character.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Wonderful. Before
Sorry,
I move on, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna change my favorite scene. My favorite scene is when Pris dies.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking, when he goes in there and she's pretending to be one of the toys. And she's strangling him, and she's got that, like, between her fucking thighs or whatever, and it's like, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
A sexy death.
But
it was a sexy prank.
Yeah, like, her dying is like when you pluck a fish out of water.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It was flopping around, and crazy. Excellent movie, everybody. Let's get to some questions here, and then we'll fuck off.
Yeah. Or if we fuck up to Off-World. All right.
Where the Mortal Kombat is happening. Oh, that's Outworld. Sorry, never mind.
It works. It works. It means the same exact thing.
You got to respect any movie that has the balls to shout its name within the first minute.
Mortal
Not
Kombat.
even the first minute. Like, the credits haven't even come up yet. When that movie starts, you put the DVD in, you get the warning thing, and then the film starts over black, Mortal Kombat, and then the fucking TriStar logo comes up with fucking Kung Fu. One day we'll do Mortal Kombat, everybody. Or maybe not.
I haven't seen
Maybe I'll
the
do that on
next
my other
Mortal
show.
Kombat.
It's fucking unhinged. Sorry, what are the questions?
All right. So question 1 is, what would your idea for a non-AI Blade Runner style film be in a colorful future world?
Sorry, what's the question? I
So what would your idea for a non-AI Blade Runner style film be in a colorful future world? So like
so one that's not using AI to make it.
yeah, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
Or okay, hold on. This could be like referring replicants as AI.
Yeah. Maybe who did the question?
Chaz.
Chaz, can you clarify, and then we'll answer it in the next episode, the 2049 episode, because I'm not 100% sure what you mean. If you mean non-AI, as in the film is made without using that particular piece of technology, or if we're talking about there is no replicants in this, this Blade Runner story you're talking about, and they're the AI you're talking about. So just clarify, and then we'll answer it next episode. But we love you.
Oh, we love you too, Chaz. Next one is from Cable.
What's up, Cable? Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening. He asks, which version do you like best?
Of the Blade, yeah, I think it's Final Cut. I do remember it was the director's cut. No, actually, it was the original that I saw when I was at school. And then the director's cut came out. It was only a few years later. But yeah, Final Cut has been my favorite since I saw it at the with the symphony. It was just like, oh yeah, this is right where you want to be.
Yeah,
You've only seen this one.
I've only ever seen this one, so yeah.
So this one, the Final Cut, Cable. And what's your favourite, Cable? Let me know. Send me a PM. Or anybody out there, what's your favourite version of Blade Runner? Maybe you're like, fuck, Blade Runner, the original sucks, but 2049 is my shit. Or maybe you're like, all of it sucks. I don't know why I listened to this episode. You guys are horse shit. I quit. And we're like, it's okay. You don't need to quit a podcast. You just stop listening. Or we lose our minds as we're trying to figure out how to round up this episode. Blessings upon all of you. Much love and respect. Thank you so much for listening as always. Addy, just keep being you. You're the best. Don't ever change with your replicant ass. Just the ass, though. Just your ass is the rest of you's human, but you have a prosthetic ass that will be dead in 4 years.
What's the point?
I don't know. Maybe help you not. Maybe it poos better. I don't know. Make it up yourself. Like, you're the one with the fucking fake ass, not me.
Yeah, I've got flaps. So, yeah, that makes sense.
I've got flaps. Okay. All right, everybody. It's getting late. We love you all. Just remember, in these wild and crazy making times, be kind to each other and be good to one another. That's all there is. That's all we've really got, The only currency is kindness, the only thing of value is time, and the only choice is love. So fuck hate.
Love veins.